For what does it profit a man to gain the entire world but lose his soul in the process? Jesus Christ. That was Jesus Christ that said that. For what does it profit a man to gain the entire world but lose his soul? Man, on this planet, it's sad to say, but the soul is neglected at a large scale. The spirit, the soul, this is who we are at our core. But yet we overlook it, we don't treat it with respect at large, and we give it up for pennies. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world? A lot of people want the whole world when we think of success. It's gaining the whole world. What did Scarface say, Tony Montana? I want the world, Chico. I want the world, Chico, and everything in it. It's good to be ambitious, but would you compromise your integrity to gain the entire world? You know, when we were all infants and children, we all had our integrity and our soul was at 100%. And then we slowly compromise ourselves to fit in. This is like running on an old server. We don't need to fit in, really, when you think about it. Think about it. When you go to school, university, work, or in social settings, why are we obsessed with this idea of fitting in? We're all human, so we should all just be valued and respected, regardless. We all have a difference of opinion. We should embrace our difference of opinion. As long as someone's not being disrespectful, I should be allowed to say whatever the hell I want to say. I can have my own opinion. We're running on an old script, and I say that because this ties into our primal nature when we were, hunters and gatherers in tribal times. Uh, in the past, we needed to think alike and be on the same page because everybody in the village might be attacked by other villagers or other people or predators. So we all need to think the same way or similarly. And if anyone thinks different to the group, they would be exiled, attacked, or killed maybe. But this is the old programming. We're in modern times now. We don't need to fit in. We're not under any attack or under any pressure in any way. But we still operate with those same dynamics as if there is a lion chasing us, right? Because when we're in a group setting and if you don't conform and you just speak your piece as it is, unfiltered, there's tension. And that tension is a result of this programming, this past programming that we haven't evolved past. So we need to evolve past this, guys. Be an individual, be yourself, and think independently as if you were the first person on this planet. Think just how you would think. Don't adopt programming from somebody else to tell you who you are or how you should think. I mean, this is common sense to me, but for some reason, people just can't help themselves because it literally feels like people are going to die if they don't conform to the group. That's how it feels because that's the way it was back in the days. But that's what evolution is understanding, hey, we're in the concrete jungle now. We're not in the real jungle. There's no threat. What's the most that can happen? People disagree or don't like you, but they don't do anything. They just disagree or just say, or like, oh, F you, or I disagree, and that's it. But in our heads or in our bodies, it feels like the end of the world if we're exiled from a social group, Um, everybody wants to belong. I understand that people want to belong, but belong to what? I would never want to just belong at the cost of my soul. Hell no. Because understand what your soul is. It's your integrity. It's your perception. You don't want your lens or your clarity tainted over some dumb shit just because the group is saying this is the way it is. Before, when people say this is the way it is or they give their opinion, just have a bit of space to sit in that and actually analyze it for yourself. When you give up your soul over time, you probably lose the ability to even think rationally and logically and independently to even come to your own conclusions. That's what I would think. I've never sold my soul, so I don't know. No one knows better than you. People know more things than you in certain areas. People might be more knowledgeable than you. But you know, when I say you know, when I speak about knowing here, I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm speaking of perception, awareness. There's things that we see and just know intuitively. We can feel when somebody's a bad vibe. We can feel when something's off. We can feel intuitively when someone's not making sense. And what happens is that intuitive feeling, right? People overwrite that and they don't listen to that and they don't sit in that space where something doesn't make sense and just allowing themselves to understand why or come to their own conclusion. They just assume that other people know better than them. And that's how you shut down that software. You shut down your soul by assuming other people know better than you and trusting them. You know, I've done that once or twice and it's backfired on me. There's nothing worse than somebody saying, hey, let's do this. And you feel like, no, I don't really want to, but okay, let's just see where it goes because he's really convincing. And then you do it. And if it goes sour, it goes bad. Who are you going to blame for that? You're going to blame the other person because they influenced you, but really you have to blame yourself for allowing it. So at the end of the day, you're the one that's going to take the fall because you're responsible for yourself. I remember one time I was in the drive-thru at KFC with my friend and they gave us the wrong food, I think. And because it was more food than we ordered, my mate's like, nah, let's just drive off. Let's just drive off with it. And I'm like, nah, let's just get our food. He's like, nah, let's just drive off with it. So I'm like, all right, just listen to him. We ended up driving off. We parked. I open up the bag and the food it's a lot of food, but it's nothing really that I want. Like nothing really that I would eat too much. Like just some of the stuff I eat, but most of it I wouldn't eat. So I'm like, damn, we just lost money trying to be thieves or just trying to get away with this shit. I'm like, damn, I listened to you. If I just listened to myself, we would have got our food and I could be eating what I wanted to eat. And you know what my friend said to me? You didn't have to listen to me. You didn't have to listen to what I told you. Right? Now, before that, he was convincing me, no, 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 just take the food. Who cares? Who cares? Trust, trust, trust. Trust, trust, bro, trust. I'm like, And then he says, turns around and goes, you didn't have to listen to me. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm never listening to anyone ever again because the way I feel now, like you telling me this shit is annoying me, it's pissing me off low key, but you're technically right. I'm the one that listened, but you were the one telling me. So at the end of the day, it always comes back to you. Imagine somebody telling you that, or imagine the devil telling you that. Not that my friend's a devil, but I'm just saying, imagine you sell your soul, you compromise yourself in a certain way, and you're on your deathbed. You've compromised your soul in so many ways. And then the devil just goes, you didn't have to do it. I only influenced you to do it. I only tempted you to do it. I only dangled it in front of your face 100 times, but you technically did it. And it's true. It's a hard bullet to bite or whatever you call it, but it's the truth, man. We're accountable for ourselves. And okay, why is it not good to sell your soul? Your soul is your integrity. It's everything. As Scarface said, or Tony Montana said, all I have in this world is my balls and my word. And I don't break them for no one. I love that movie and he's one of my favorite actors, Al Pacino. But it's true. you shouldn't sell your soul, because your soul is your life force, it's your energy, it's your integrity, it's your happiness, your joy, your peace, your love. Everything that is of any value is connected to your soul. It's also your perception, your clarity to know what's going on and to have a clear understanding of things, to know how to maneuver, to have discernment. To have high discernment means to always be in your soul, to discern what's going on out here. Excuse me. So when you sell your soul, when you compromise yourself to fit in, or you compromise yourself for a position or for money, people do this because they think they're getting ahead. And you might get ahead initially, but it's going to come back tenfold. Look at Diddy, for example. He built an entire empire, bad boy, worked his way up, and he really built a big empire and gained a lot of success, a lot of money, had a lot of connections, all for it to crash. And now what is he known as? Diddy, the diddler, in jail. I think he got released. But his reputation's forever broken, forever damaged, legacy forever damaged. Just his own internal world would be horrible because he's abused or messed with too many people, too many bad relationships, too much hatred, too much fear. His empire that he built wasn't built on rock. It was built on sand, technically. Using people, putting people in bad record deals. It's just the way you're going about things. He's literally the epitome of this. He's taking shortcuts to get ahead. And it looks like he's winning because initially he was winning. But how devastating is this? Now, a lot of people don't even listen to his music anymore because he did make some music. People aren't interested in Diddy. You're a joke. You're the joke of the internet. People don't feel you. People don't see you as real. It's just, you're done. Life isn't as fun anymore for you, right? It's like you're in hell. He's literally in hell. And heaven is the opposite of hell. And heaven is only experienced when you are with your soul. So he gave up his soul and gained nothing, even though he gained all of that just for it to crash and burn. That's what happens. And people are selling their soul. These are celebrities, but you have politicians selling their soul just for a position or for money. You have regular people in the workforce selling their soul for a low entry position, or to just climb up a little bit to become 2IC manager. They'll sell their soul. They'll basically be somebody they're not to try to get ahead. It never works because the truth always comes out, and you can't hide who you are. People can see through it. And even if you do get ahead, it's just your soul is the central thing tied to your entire experience. So if you're not present, because you need your soul to be present, to truly be present, to be at peace, knowing you're doing the right thing, knowing you're not fucking anyone over, knowing you're just pure-hearted. There's a certain level of peace and joy that comes with being innocent in a certain way. And it's the path of least resistance. It's much more effortless to just be in your soul, to be natural, to speak how you would normally speak, to dress how you want to dress. It's just easier to do that. It's easier to not care about anyone, just completely not care about anyone else. Focus entirely on you and just go, what do I want to eat? What do I want to do? What do I want to, how do I want to dress? How do I want to speak, or what do I want to speak about? What am I interested in? It's all up to you. That's the beauty of life. Fitting into what? I mean, the trend always changes anyway. So you can try to fit into this, then the trend changes and you want to fit into this. You don't even know who you are. Life is about figuring out who you are. I don't know if you guys have seen the episode of The Simpsons with Bart and Milhouse. Bart thought he made the best deal ever and sold his soul to Milhouse for $5, if you guys have seen that episode. Sold his soul for $5 to Milhouse. and he thought he made an excellent trade. And guess what? It was the worst day of his life. Bart couldn't enjoy skateboarding. He couldn't enjoy eating. He couldn't enjoy watching TV. Whatever he did, whatever he touched, he couldn't enjoy it because he didn't have his soul. It's on The Simpsons. That's why Jesus says, "For what does it profit a man?" And you have to ask yourself, why do I need to edit myself to fit into a group? Why can't I be accepted for the way that I am, for the way that I speak, the way that I dress, if it's not being disrespectful? Why should that be of any concern? We should be embracing diversity, right? We talk about diversity. Embrace diversity, and it's an obsession. You don't need people to agree with you. It's actually more fun when you disagree, but genuinely, and then figure out why, and then you can learn from each other. If everybody just agrees to everything, then we don't really learn in the same way. Let me see what else I wrote down. Oh yeah, and this is the good thing about being real as well. You might as well just be real from the start. It might be more difficult to begin with because you find out who's for you and who's not for you. That's another reason to be real, because when you play nice and people please, you don't actually get to see who actually genuinely likes you for you, because you're not being yourself to the core. So you don't know who actually likes you and resonates with you, because that's the other tragedy of selling your soul or trying to be liked, is you're not actually being liked for who you are. You're being liked for the version of yourself that you're giving these people. So you're showing them a version of yourself and they like that version. So now you have to put on the makeup or put on the costume every day and be that version everywhere you go. And then maybe in another setting, you're a different version of yourself. So you wear a different costume or a different mask. So there's all these different versions. Now that's how you create split personality. It's exhausting to have to maintain all these different versions of yourself based on different settings and different people that you're around. That is so exhausting. And as I said, they're not even liking you. They just like the version that you show. It's exhausting to people please. But if you be yourself, you might find out quickly who likes you and who doesn't like you. It's a bit more confronting. It takes a bit more courage, but it's way better because it just gets better and better and better. Long term and over time, you are smoking shit. You are just going to get better and better and better because you're going to find out more about yourself. The more you be real, you'll find out who's for you, who actually hates you. It's better to actually just know that. There's nothing wrong with being hated. There's nothing wrong with people disagreeing with you. We put so much emphasis on everyone needs to fit in, and if people hate you, no, it's the end of the world. It actually doesn't matter. And peer pressure is a weakness. Giving in to peer pressure or giving in to fitting in is a weakness of the mind. That's how you have to look at it. So you actually get stronger by allowing yourself to be yourself, allowing the group to be what they are, and just be yourself and let your words land how they land. You live life more spontaneously. You live life with more presence this way. It's more effortless. It's more fun. I'm doing it right now. Look how I'm speaking. Relaxed. Because I'm not trying to fit in. I don't care who's listening. So it starts off hard potentially, but it just gets easier because then you start to find your tribe. You start to find the people that are there for you, that actually mess with you. And it's way better to find out, it's better to have one or two close friends or real friends than have 100 friends that aren't really your friends and you feel alone around all these people. You feel more alone around all these so-called friends that you're trying to please than you would feel if you were just simply alone with yourself. That's how crazy this shit is. That just tells you right there the power of authenticity. How is it that I feel more better alone by myself, at least I have my soul, than to be in a group of 20 or 30 people or 10 people and feel completely invisible and out of place and not heard and not seen at all? It's very sad. So there's a lot of things that are out of our control. It's not in your control if people like you, hate you. Who cares about that? Only just care about, look at reality through your own eyes, not through other people's eyes. Look through your own eyes. What do I want to say? What do I want? What makes sense to me? What resonates with me? And then move from there. And you can take the opinions of other people, but you analyze it from your own lens. You validate that from your own experience. You don't just take something someone says just because they say it. That's the way to kill yourself. That's the way to go down a path of destruction and misery. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen time and time again, where people do not listen to themselves and they just think that they can't be themselves, or they need this thing or this person or this opportunity or job. And they just sell their soul or just give up their integrity, and it never works out because the universe works on integrity. This is science. This is universal shit. All the animals, all the plants, they're being honest. Animals don't know how to be dishonest. Only we know that as humans. So I'll leave the video there. I think that's enough. But yeah, man, that's the best shit. This is the best shit that I can tell anyone. You know, and it all comes down to what you value in life. Your principles, who you are, and what you value, you know. Just, it's never worth it. You know, it's never worth it. Think about children, how happy they are. They're fully in their soul. How happy they are. How free-spirited they are. It's timeless. Timeless, timeless wisdom. So I'll leave the video there. As I said, thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this video, leave a commenty. As always, leave a commenty. Make a subscribey if you want to get subscribed to my channel. Leave a likey if you like my content. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.